Ocean views, small circle, it's a chosen few. I wrote it down and I followed through.
What is the history of Web3 and how is it different from Web 1 and Web 2?
I don't mind taking a stab at that one. So I guess to understand Web3, we also have to understand the past versions or iterations of the web. So Web 1, as we may think about it, can be considered the read-only version of the internet, right? And if anyone can recall browsing on the web during the late 90s, all you were pretty much able to do was to find information, right? And that was the primary goal of Web 1, almost like taking entire libraries, books, and information and digitizing it so that more people can have access to useful information. But the problem with Web 1 was that information publishing and content creation was only done by the hands of a few. So, the content creation aspect of it was really centralized and gated. And, that's sort of where Web 2 came in the picture. Web 2
I
was
could
the,
piggyback off that.
yep, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I could piggyback that, get into Web 2. So yeah, I agree 100%. That's definitely what Web 1 was. Web 2 now, from that fundamental concept, branched out to where now you can read and write. Basically, that's where you see social networks, people sharing content. That's more Web 2. So now, Web 3, we get to Web 3.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about, Web 2 in a sense before jumping into Web 3?
Yeah, for sure. Because basically, it was servers. Users can, read and write different servers from their computers, basically through social networks where they're sharing content now rather than just reading content.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where most of us are right now. If you're a user of
Yeah.
TikTok and scrolling all day long like I do, if you're using Facebook, LinkedIn, these are all Web 2 social networks where, these larger companies, they are basically in charge of who sees your content and they're making tons of money off of your content. Plus, I don't know what your experiences is, but it's not really that friendly to brown, black, and indigenous folks.
Yeah, exactly. And Web 2 also gave us sort of like these tools to be able to create content, right? But as you both stated, the problem is that, we don't necessarily have ownership over the content that we create. And also when you think about, these huge centralized companies, they're only giving content creators a fraction of the dollar that we are generating in terms of profit for their companies. So, in retrospect, creators pretty much get paid about 10 cents for every $10 generated for these platforms. And additionally, they have the power to censor, block, or remove content for all
From
creators,
creators.
right? And that doesn't necessarily hurt the platform, but it hurts the pockets of creators. And that's where Web3 comes in the picture. So, Web3 is the internet of ownership where you can read information, you can write, and you can publish information in addition to content while owning your intellectual property and data for everything that you create, right? And this is all done in a decentralized way that removes those intermediaries like Facebook and replaces them with protocols or technology that follow a secure, structured set of rules without any chances of manipulation, right? And this is huge. So if you can imagine, creating a Web3 marketplace on a technology that has a certain set of rules, like Ethereum, right? And those rules say that all content creators or all content created by an individual is permanent unless the creator decides to delete it. Well, now you don't have to worry about censorship. You don't have to worry about your content getting banned. You don't have to worry about your content getting removed like Facebook or Instagram historically does, right? You don't have to worry about losing potential revenue because you have complete control over your content and your data. So that's Web3.